What's going on, guys? Welcome to Ajax Reviews. Today we review Cheerleader Camp. Directed by Quinn, a group of cheerleaders become the targets of an unknown killer at a remote summer camp. So, Cheerleader Camp. This is a movie that I've only seen once before. I saw this movie the first time I purchased it on DVD, actually. It was, 15 years ago. Had to have been. I was at a mall, went into a Suncoast, grabbed a bunch of horror movies. This happened to be one of them. I came home and I'm like, this looks fun. And I put it in and I watched it. Now, 15 years ago versus today, obviously my opinion in movies changed because movies change. Now, did my opinion in this movie change? Well, we're just going to have to find out. But this is one of those movies that I remembered certain things about. I remembered that the main girl in it was the girl from the movie Avenging Angel. And she was super hot, and I'm like, wow, maybe she'll get topless in this. Nope. Then it also had the girl from Breaking 1 and 2. And I'm like, ooh, dude, I always thought she was attractive. Like when she was doing all the dance moves and breaking movies, man, I'm just like, holy shit. She was also in Ninja 3, The Domination. And I thought she was super sexy in that as well. So her being in this movie, I was like, it's rated R. And there's like nudity in this movie. Let's see what we got. So I put it on, watched it, and enjoyed it for the most part, from what I remember. But those are the main things that I really remembered. I remember there's like a fat guy in there somewhere, and I didn't remember who the killer was, so I watched it again. And here's what I thought of it.
Simple present will suffice.
So movies that came out in 1988 fall in a very special place, because they're kind of in between the early 80s movies that were like some of the greatest franchises and greatest horror movies, slasher movies ever made, to the generation right after that, going into the 90s, that pushed the envelope even further when it came to the gore and the storyline. So it fell into a very special spot. Everything got better. The quality, the effects, the nudity, with Cheerleader Camp being the exception. Yeah, the girls look great, and the nudity went further and more over the top than usual, but this movie was missing a lot of key things that could have made this movie good. Like, don't get me wrong, the movie was decent, but now I understand why it sat in my movie case for so long between viewings. This movie was more of a comedy. And there's nothing wrong with horror comedies. I like a lot of horror comedies. But this movie, it had ADD. It had a lot of trouble focusing on what it was supposed to be. Now, that's not to say it was a bad movie, because it wasn't. Was it scary? No. But then again, movies don't tend to scare me. I kind of grew up on this shit. Was it fun? Well, yeah, of course. And I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy all the eye candy. The girls were outstanding. This movie had some good points to it, too. It had some great effects, amazing looking women, gratuitous male humor, and a decent killer, too. But in the end, it was just another horror movie that was way too slow and didn't focus enough on the horror aspect. It's your typical 1980s whodunit horror movie with zero surprise as to who the killer is. If you've watched this movie, or you do watch this movie, if you think you know who the killer is, you're correct. It's that easy to figure out. Now let's talk about some of the things that I liked. This movie is filled with eye candy, man. Hotties everywhere. Like, damn near every girl in this movie was fucking beautiful.
He sees the goalpost looking at him.
Great body, pretty face, just everything about him was just beautiful, especially for an 80s movie. A lot of 80s movies has like two really good looking girls and then some other girls. Like, that's what this one had Like damn near every girl was pretty. So, another thing I liked was the effects. The blood looked really, really good, actually. And the makeup effects were surprisingly good. And probably the highlight of things that I liked was the hedge trimmer kill. I'm not going to spoil it for you. If you see it pop up on the screen, cool. But if not, man, you got to watch this movie just for that kill. It was fucking cool. Now let's talk about some of the things that I didn't like. First and foremost, white preppy dudes trying to rap.
And we're Brett and Timmy, we're part of the bunch. Gonna take the crown, and that ain't no hunch. Now get ready to hear our cheer, cause we're the best team you see this year. Huh.
I mean, it works for Eminem, and it works for people who have talent. But not for just white preppy dudes that are in a movie trying to rap. It doesn't work that way. Rapping's hard. I can't do it. You shouldn't either. Another thing, it was a very non-existent story with a long attempt to build a story. It just didn't work. And the last thing is there really was no suspense. It was virtually non-existent. It was funny, funny, funny. Oh, something happened. Funny, funny, something happened. Funny, something happened. Oh, now it's the end. Literally, there was no, ooh, who's going to get it? How are they going to get it? Why are they going to get it? And who could this killer be? There was none of that. It was literally like, ooh, hot girl. Ooh, hot girl. Ooh, death. Ooh, hot girl. That's kind of how it played out, with some funny jokes thrown in between. I mean, for some people that works, but it's just one of the things in this movie that I really didn't like. So in conclusion, would I recommend this? Sure, why not? I mean, it's a fun enough movie, and a good enough movie to add to your collection. But the downside is, I don't think I've ever heard anybody say that Cheerleader Camp is their favorite movie. So it's definitely not one that you should search out. I mean, it is kind of a cult classic. So for collection reasons, again, get it. But, you know, it's one of those things. And with all that being said, guys, I'm going to give this movie a 3 out of 5. And that's going to do it for me for today, guys. So until next time, stay smart, stay clean, keep the dream. Don't let the man get you down, because if he does, he may make your pee-pee harder than a 10-pound bag of nickel jawbreakers. And nobody wants that. Why? Because, dude, that's fucking hard.